Guess what, folks? It looks like we're going out to space. Well, it wasn't until when we get to the second level of this kingdom. Hey, what is up everyone? I'm Tiana here, alongside with Daffy Duck here from the likes of the Merxy Toys videos. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Donkey Kong Jungle Beat for the Nintendo GameCube and Nintendo Wii versions of the game. Because obviously we have to go through both versions just like before, so you get the idea for that specific system with this, with our Let's Play of this channel. So, last time we have managed to able to gone through the forms of probably the longest kingdom in the whole entire game, which is of course Chili Pepper Kingdom, because that took me about 12 minutes on the GameCube version, and I believe Daffy might have able to actually spend his time more accurately almost like 15 minutes or something, probably because he accidentally got himself his first life loss during the forms of that specific run-through on the Wii version. So, yeah, today for this episode, as you can see, we're about to be hit on to the final kingdom in the B-Barrel selections of kingdoms, which this time we're about to be hit on to the Starfruit Kingdom. And to begin with this kingdom is the fact that here we go with the final race in the whole entire game, which is Ninjape Rally, where basically we need to do some sort of like endurance run kind of syndrome that we need to go through quick wall jumps to the final time we're going to be seeing these, jungle buddies like these ones here. And especially noticeable whenever we get onto the second level of that throughout, even though we've already come across into Echo the Dolphin, journey forms have been just only one level, which is of course one level that usually takes place in Pineapple Kingdom. So that's as far as memories goes, that's what I can really say about it here. But of course we're not going to be seeing the Heli Birds just yet for the final time, just because, well, we might able to see him again until whenever we get onto the true final boss in the game, which, then again, we'll discuss more about it until likely on Wednesday, the 27th of May. So either way, excuse me, do apologize for that little, belching noise you're going to be, although I don't think anyone else can able to hear my belching, but either way though, I'm just going to keep it close, just in case if I don't want to let you hear that disgusting noise. But anyway, just like the forms of the previous two races, during the forms of, Deep Sea Sprint, as well as Helibird Dash, then if you're trying to aim for first place, then you can obviously get yourselves 500 beats, which again, if you really want to get all 4 of those crests during that specific kingdom, then you should definitely recommend you aim for it. So here we go, on to probably the last platforming level before we get onto the forms of the true final boss of the game, specifically in the GameCube version. That, as you can see, we're blasting onto space in, I would say, Asteroid Belt. I think that's what the level itself is called. So either way though, obviously this particular stage is obviously takes place into space, obviously. Even though it's kind of like the a prequel to Super Mario Galaxy or something. But either way though, that was before when Super Mario Galaxy was the thing, during in 2007. So either way though, let's go ahead and grab some more of those beats. Whoa, that was really close. I'm almost gonna get myself poked during those spikes down below, but hey, at least that was a definition of a close call. But either way though, that certainly is worth it though. So anyways, let's go ahead and just dodge those boulders, as you can see. Even though because of that though, I need to try to pull off some more combos specifically on this part. So hopefully we would be able to actually just to go ahead and just reach for that certain parts. So either way though, we can expect able to get some more beats throughout for this point right here. But you get the idea for that solution right here. And of course this will be the last time seeing these kinds of enemies like these, because otherwise we're actually getting towards the end at this point right now. So either way though, not much else has been going on at the moment, but when it comes to the forms of this particular uploading schedule at this rate, apart from the fact that recently we've now finally managed to accomplish everything in our own time during the forms of our playing through on our own time of Super Mario Odyssey recently. And yeah, don't worry if you do fall off on this particular obstacle course right here, because otherwise you'll be respawn after when you got into. So thankfully, this version is actually way more easier than the forms of how it does it on the Wii version, because when Duffy gets to the Wii version on the other hand though, well, you'll probably point it out whenever he gets into it, and once again, I'm just a little bit too hasty at this point, once again. So either way though, that's generally my fault for able to actually not knowing of how the fact that I instantly fall off to the bottomless pit below. But thankfully you don't have a life system, so this means you don't die instantly. But then again though, until whenever when Defi gets to the Wii version on the other hand though, then he'll discuss more about it until later, so... But you know, you get the idea for this point. I really do like the actual aesthetics of this level, as you can see, because obviously it just goes from planet to planet and stuff like that, which even then, it always kind of reminds me of Super Mario Galaxy, but then again, that was before when that game exists, until when it gets to the point when it's first announced in E3 2006, and then later on it's now got its release in 2007, so... But you know, you get the drill for this point, and speaking of Mario Galaxy actually, is the fact that I suppose that Sonic has not even mentioned about this during any forms of his Kingdom Hearts Final Mix so far Let's Play. Recently, that Super Mario Galaxy 2, at least the North American's release, is now becoming a decade old, which I can't even believe. The time itself just went, you know, super flying by all of a sudden, and as a result, yeah, the Super Mario Galaxy 2 game has now become 10 years old now. Specifically in North America, not so much in any forms of in Europe or not country just yet though, and I don't really know in the Japanese version either, but either way though, we'll see what happens there whenever I just manage to keep on researching on certain stuff. So anyways, and this is the final time we're going to be seeing this spider looking enemy right here, so if that we're able to actually deal with him out, then we should be able to continue things on as far as progression goes. So either way though, before we do anything else, I just need to try to pull off you know, the actual combo system, but once again, my DK Bongos doesn't like it all that much, which, truth be told, it might be some scenarios like that. But you know, you get the idea. Oh jeez, we got ourselves these Hornets-looking enemies, and I was supposed to be able to get some more beats during that specific part, but, oh well, beggar cells can't be choosers, I suppose, still. But anyway, but yeah, recently I just finally managed to complete all the costumes I've now got in Super Mario Odyssey, and also I've managed to actually finally manage to get my chance on new forms of the VR mode, which thankfully you don't need to acquire the Nintendo Labo to do so, because otherwise you need to still play it on handheld mode, which I'm fine with, except that it kind of almost reminds me of the Sonic Lost World special stages in the 3DS version that you have to tilt the system around in order to be able to look all around you. But honestly, unlike Sonic Lost World 3DS special stages, thankfully the Super Mario Odyssey virtual reality mode thing doesn't make me feel sick or something like that. Unlike Sonic Lost World 3DS's special stages, it does make me feel sick. Or in this case, physically sick, but either way though, let's not mention about this right now. And otherwise, oh, we got ourselves this Ballerina Panda thing returning ever since Junior forms have been. I think the last time we saw him was actually on the Cherry Kingdom. So even then, though, in Grim Volcano. So yeah, you get the what the? Oh wow, that was the biggest wombo combo. At least to be more specifically, getting hurt by the forms of that, specifically that raw shock wave, as well as these groups of those. You know, Hornets and all that stuff. Oh, jeez. So many enemies are trying to outright against me. Anyway, when you reach to the very top of this particular point right there, we're able to ride against with the forms of that, the Woofer Jungle Buddy. This is actually the final time, by the way, if you want to see him in action. Because of that, though, we're actually getting close towards the end. And just like the forms of in, the Apple Kingdom, as well as the, I would say the Peach Kingdom as well, that once again we need to jump over for those platforms, as you can see. But the biggest difference is now, taking a notice from the Melon Kingdom, for example, we need to take down this particular creature that has been on the top screen for this whole time, and if you do try to aim in for about, let's say 5 hits or something, then otherwise you get yourselves 100 beats to your disposal. So either way though, yeah. That's all I can really say about it. Yeah, just like any forms of how it does it in the Melon Kingdom, you should do it just fine. So either way though, that's pretty much about it. And we got about 1,080 of those beats in Asteroid Belt. And here we go, face off against with the final Kong fight, and that is Sumo Kong! with the epic space battle between the actual fat ape gorilla thing. So basically we need to simply clap at first, and then after when you clap, be sure to able to go through likely bongo to bongo from left or right most of the time, and then quickly clap before you're able to actually dodges you for a quicker amount of time. Honestly, this version is actually way easier than any forms of how it does on the GameCube or the Wii version in my opinion, just because they somehow messed it all up on the Wii version this time around. But then again, definitely will point it out whenever he gets into that version, but there goes Sumo Kong. Yeah, and every time when Sumo Kong gets defeated, or even the start of the battle, basically, he almost becomes like a robotic kind of, I don't know, it's hard to explain about it sometimes. But anyway, once again, no damage on that particular boss battle, and either way though, pretty solid. Well, despite falling into the forms of that bottomless pit for quite a few times, but whatever. So yeah, you get the idea. We got, once again, we might able to achieve ourselves 4 crests, meaning that, you know, bronze, silver, gold, and of course the legendary platinum! Huzzah for that. And fundamentally speaking, this will be the last time we're going to be seeing those hint movies, as you can see on screen, on the GameCube version. Yeah, I was going to do that, but I just can't be bothered. And that's pretty much wrapping things up when it comes to the forms of the Bee Kingdom selections. Well, the Bee Barrel Kingdoms, I should say. Now we've unlocked the last thing, which we do need to acquire 51 crests in order to unlock this kingdom. That way, we're able to save that up until likely on Wednesday. So, on to you, Daffy, to, you know. Alright, let's bring it on to the forms of the Starfruit Kingdom on the Wii version. So, I'm pretty sure that we might able to come across into the exact same levels as in before on the forms within the GameCube original release, but except the fact that then again, the actual obstacles and the actual hazards are in the actual complete different spots and stuff like that. So either way, once again we need to go through Ninjape Rally for the second time, except this time around though with Wiimote and Nunchuck combo. So either way though, and there's going to be some slight significant changes to the forms of this particular level, as you can see, compared to the GameCube version, is the fact that, well, obviously, since after all, I'm pretty sure most of these players can usually slow down, unlike the forms of how it does it on the GameCube version. For whatever reason, this goes like super fast or something. I have no idea why. That's, oh, it's probably just me anyway, though. But either way, though, let's just go ahead and pull off some more combos, so that we, although I don't think we can necessarily try to get more beats around here, although there's additional section during the forms of that specific, well, specifically whenever we get to the finishing line section, whenever we try to go for the boulders section, which we come across into later, and that way, that, yeah, as you can see those seeds from the ground, I don't bother trying to go for all that stuff, honestly, because they aren't worth anything, because obviously I'm trying to aim for, you know, the usual first place, and also trying to achieve 500 beats, or 500 bananas if you really want to prefer calling it that. So, you know, that's the kind of thing I'd like to do that, but either way though, let's just go ahead and grab some more extra lives before, you know, anything else goes happen. So, and as you can tell, my lives has been reset back into 5 extra lives, which is pretty self-explanatory for most specific portions on this version in particular, but either way though, who cares about that? Anyways, let's move on to Asteroid Belt in the forms within the Wii version. So, but then again, this is where the game starts to get, well, this version in particular is now getting much more significantly harder than the forms of how it does in the beginning portion of the game. Because of this though, you remember how the fact that Tiana accidentally just managed to fall down to the bottomless pit during the forms within the GameCube version, and that doesn't really need to be like instant death on the GameCube version. However, on the Wii version, since you still have yourselves the 3 health system, as you can see, this means about the fact that if you come towards the bottomless pit or something, like if I accidentally fell off during the forms of that, specifically with that pig kind of fight, especially noticeable with those 2 birds in between, this means is the fact that if I somehow accidentally fall off to the pit, this means I have to restart the whole entire level all over again. Unless if there was a checkpoint in Journey Forms event, well, it wasn't until whenever we get onto the later portions of this level. So either way though, because chances are, expecting to be one of the hardest levels in the entire game, specifically on the Wii version specifically, I was going to point that out. But either way though, that you see what I mean whenever we get onto that part. So, but, you know, you get the idea for that little, specific scenarios like so. So, yeah, today's day is the forms of, I would say today's day is the forms of, the 25th of May today, in this case in 2020, but then again, not much else we can able to talk about it, apart from the fact that we've only just got about, I would say, well, since this has already been up today, but apparently we've only got ourselves about, I would say 2 parts to go until this entire Let's Play will be completed. So naturally speaking, that we seem to be almost done with this. So either way though, yeah, it is entirely optional if you want to take down those birds, as you can see right there, ever since Journey forms have been, the last time we saw one of these birds type enemies is actually since the Durin Kingdom on, you know, Aerial Fortress or anything like that. So, but you know, you get the idea for that solution here, so. And yeah, fundamentally speaking, it's the fact that Kept King 74 did accidentally fell off during the forms of that part right there, the one I just managed to win through. Because of that though, he accidentally pulled off the actual ground pound, and the actual Wii Remote's response does not even react to it in time. So as a result, he accidentally falls off on that specific part. Although the only thing is kind of lame compared to our version, as you can tell. He did accidentally skip the entire whole portion of the entire level, rather than just like showing the whole entire level up, and then just managed to show them about the actual skills he was trying to perform. But either way though, that's as far as I can usually think about it. So, and plus, not to mention though, is the fact that yes, there's also the Mexi 10's version of this Let's Play too. But the only version he only does is just a Wii version, that's all there is to know. Plus, not to mention, he did somehow skip only good chunks of portions of the kingdoms themselves, which even then are relatively speaking, God dang it, I did not notice that. Oh boy, I'm gonna start all over again, aren't I? Yep, I'm gonna start all over again, aren't I? So even then, no. But regardless of that, though, it won't be so long. Well, I don't know about you, but either way, though, we'll just have to, well, cope with the actual restarting points right there. So even then, there goes my second death of the playthrough. So to be expected, because it just makes things in this version is a lot more difficult than the forms of how it does it on the GameCube version. Honestly, that out of all these two versions of the game though, which ones I usually think it's probably usually kind of for the better? Well, I would say both, but I will say that the GameCube version is definitely more easier in terms of like no depth perceptions, or no, not so much depth perceptions, but usually you don't come across into any deaths during the forms of in well, you know, the GameCube version, although the only time you will get a game over is that if you somehow manage to let your beats count reaches to 0, and if you manage to get hit by one hazard or one enemy while your beats counter is at 0, it's instant game over for you. So as a result, yeah, I've seen loads of videos about it, it's especially noticeable with the actual history of Donkey Kong games, game over screens or anything like that, so yeah, as what Tiana has already mentioned about this before, that recently we've managed to finally able to 100% through everything properly this time around on Super Mario Odyssey for the game that we did manage to play for about 85 hours, which is kind of incredible, honestly, because that game is remarkably one of my favorite Nintendo Switch games I've ever played. Although, sure, there is Breath of the Wild, but I'll try to play that at some point when it gets to likely in a later time. But I promise you guys I will able to play it on my own time for proper, but either way though, not now though, because there are some other things to take care of. So either way though, as far as you know, as far as for that conditions for that Super Mario Odyssey completionist that I've already done, or we have actually done I should say, that is the fact that as what Tiana has already mentioned, that we've actually now finally got ourselves all of the costumes in the game, including the special variations as well, and even especially noticeable with how the fact that we've recently managed to accomplish the virtual reality mode, in this case the VR mode, which I think is actually pretty alright and such. I mean, sure, there are some questionable choices, such as like, for instance, for example, you can't do that on the TV mode, that's one thing, and second, that as well as what Tiana already mentioned this before, it kind of reminds her of the special stages from Sonic Lost World on the 3DS, except, well, it doesn't feel as disorientation unlike that particular terrible special stages in a Sonic Lost World 3DS, but you know, you get the point. And the final thing we should probably point things out is that yes, we've now finally able to get ourselves the golden balloons in Luigi's Bloom World, meaning that you have to get like 50 stars in that specific highest rank, and we've managed to finally accomplish that during new forms of during today actually. But even then, it took me a long time for this process, because you have to go through likely trying to go through 2 separate modes most of your time, most notably with Find It mode and Hide It mode, and it's just a lot of busy work. But regardless of everything else though, we have managed to accomplish everything in Super Mario Odyssey right now. Although the only 3D Mario game we need left now, in terms of accomplishing certain stuff for this point right now, that is, of course, the Super Mario 3D World, despite with our Wii U save data being corrupted all of a sudden, so as a result we need to start all over again for that particular game, which is a shame really, because even then though, that we did manage to able to did. Well, actually, kind of think about it, I think Sonic and Sylvester has already done that Let's Play since 2017, and as a result, that those two just managed to accomplish that Let's Play during back in new forms of 2017, but then after about a year later, which is in 2018, the actual Wii U save data for our system has been corrupted for certain games, most notably with Super Mario Maker and Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U, and even especially noticeable with Splatoon 1, and also same applies for New Super Mario Bros. U / New Super Luigi U all in one. Although, despite the fact that we've already got ourselves New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe on the Switch, so that way you can able to actually get ourselves the opportunities to do that, but ultimately though, we just managed to able to got the physical version of New Super Mario Bros. U and New Super Luigi U as in digital download, so even then, I kinda wish I just want to get the actual combo pack on the Wii U version, but either way though, it's pretty much useless now. At least as far as I've noticed something like that, so. But you know, you get the idea for that solution, so yeah. And of course, we actually come across into this blue bear kind of ballerina enemy kind of enemy right there. But even then, this is essentially the final time we're going to be seeing these kinds of enemies like these. So even then, bye bye, ballerina bear. You'll be done for. And plus, your results are terrible. Just kidding, with all the actual performance and stuff, but hey. Alright, so let's head on to here, and then just shoot out from up in the top. And we should ride on this thing here, and then we should able to deal with the forms of what else? The exactly the same activity as in the forms of how it does it on the GameCube version, except, well, obviously rather than using DK bongos, instead obviously with the Wii Remote and Nunchuck controls. So, and I'm pretty sure the actual reward, if you're trying to defeat that giant caterpillar looking enemy, is pretty much exactly the same as the new forms of how it does it on the GameCube version. And where's the actual glacier in the background? I mean, usually in the GameCube version, we got ourselves a very cool glacier in the background, but apparently in the Wii version, that's been no longer there. Ah, oh well. Beggar cells can be choosers, I suppose, in terms of visual aesthetics and stuff. Oh, so close to get to the final platform! If you do manage to make it to the final platform, you get yourselves about 200 bananas, by the way. So even then, I just want to classify that. That is actually quite a lot of those bananas that I've managed to achieve. But anyways, let's move on to Sumo Kong. Now, in my honest opinion, Sumo Kong on the Wii version is probably the worst version of Sumo Kong in my opinion, because you remember the forms of faster quick time reflexes when it comes to dodging and attacking and throughout. It just somehow makes the actual boss fight a little bit slower and tedious this time around. For one noticeable thing, you notice with the forms that Z button keeps popping up every time you're trying to able to actually attack his blocking his palms. Now it just makes things a little bit annoying, because most of the time, if I was trying to do some of my motion controls attacks, sometimes my Wii Remote reaction does not even react to half the time. And plus, every time whenever you're trying to, keep on doing that, you always have to wait until the Z button pops up before you're able to get a chance to attack him. And the first half is not too bad, the second half on the other hand though, holy crap, it gives you a lot of exhaustion every time you do that. But then again though, that's only because you're able to utilize the Wii Remote and the Nunchuck controls, so even then though, most of the GameCube version is actually pretty easy, but the Wii version on the other hand though, is just downright annoying, especially how hard that particular boss can be. But don't get me started until whenever we get onto on Friday, however though, I mean believe me. I don't think anyone else could believe me on that, but either way though, that's just for my personal taste anyway, but still. But regardless of that though, despite we've already taken down Sumo Kong on the Wii version, and also I've lost about 100 bananas, but that's okay because we still got enough of those bananas, so that way we can able to, just make it to the forms of that 3 crests as well as another crown. Plus, this is the final time seeing those hint movies like these. I've no idea why we keep on getting hint movies number 2. I'm pretty sure in hint movies number 1, it's always like a practice tutorial segment, whilst compared to movies number 2, these are simply just expertise or something. So either way, once you have accomplished that, then much like the GameCube version, you would actually access to the next kingdom, which appears to be on the moon barrel of kingdoms and stuff like that. But then again, we'll save that up until on, well, specifically Wednesday. So join us next time when Let's Play Donkey Kong Jungle Beat, and that was the fact that we're going to be taking on the forms of the true final boss in the game, known as the Gasoline King. So see you guys until on Wednesday. Later, fellas.